Hey friend, welcome back to Seed and Sparrow Homestead. Welcome back to my kitchen here. Today is the day that I'm going to bring you the mock pineapple recipe. I have been collecting lots of zucchini and summer squash from the garden, and we're going to be turning this into this, some mock pineapple used just like canned pineapple. So we're gonna be doing that, and then we're gonna take a trip outside to the garden and see if we can find any more zucchini. I wanna make sure I've got all of it together to work with. And then if we have more than I need for the mock pineapple, I think I might shred some up and freeze it for baking over the winter months. So we're gonna do that, and I might also throw together some sort of baked good and maybe a dinner recipe with the mock pineapple, just to give you some more ideas how to use it, and I'll list some other ways that I like to use it as well. So let's go outside and see if we can find any more. The sun is really bright right now. We're gonna go find some snippers. The other day I was being kind of lazy and I didn't feel like finding some snippers, and I ended up tearing out an entire zucchini plant. So word of advice, just go find the snippers. Alright, we're back inside. I got 3 more zucchini from the garden, and then all these other ones I've just been collecting over the last week or so. Now for mock pineapple, you can use any summer squash variety. You just can't use a winter squash variety. So here I have, and this is just a Black Beauty standard zucchini, and then I have some yellow summer squash. That's what I am using today. So any variety of summer squash is okay. Just stay away from the winter squash varieties. Alright, so we're getting started with this mock pineapple recipe, and it's a very simple recipe. For anyone who's a new canner, don't be intimidated by this at all. There is nothing complicated about it. Very simple. So first step is just peeling all of the zucchini, and this is just a great way to use up that excess zucchini that's starting to fill up your countertops from the garden. Every year I deal with this, and every year I tell myself, okay, grow less zucchini next year. And I just never listen to myself, so here we are, and we're making more mock pineapple, but any excess that I have, I will just make it into some shredded zucchini for the freezer. But this is the first step. We're just peeling all of the zucchini. I have about 12 to do, so I'll see you in a minute. All right, all of our zucchini has been peeled, so now I'm going through and I'm dicing it up into these little cubes. You have the option to shred it as well, so it's your preference. I just prefer it cubed, that's what I'm doing. This recipe does come from the National Center for Home Food Preservation's website, and I will link that down in the description for you. Now the recipe calls for 4 quarts of cubed zucchini or shredded zucchini, so I just converted that to cups, so we need 16 cups of zucchini. And I will let you know about how many zucchinis that takes. Now these are all varying in sizes, but I'll try and give you an approximate so that you know how much you will need to go ahead and make this recipe. I finished up chopping all of the zucchini. I have 16 cups here. It took about 7 medium-sized zucchinis, not like the massive ones and not these itty bitty ones. They were all good medium-sized. And that is even with taking out some of the yellow squash slices. You can see some of them are pretty seedy. And the canning process doesn't really change their texture at all, so they're not very pleasant to bite into. So I left out some of the really seedy pieces. So I've got my zucchini ready to go. Now we're gonna work on our sugar, pineapple juice, and lemon mixture. To our 16 cups of zucchini, I'm going to add in, I think this is 46 ounces of unsweetened pineapple juice. Yes, 46 ounces. And it's important to get no added sugar. Now I'm adding in 1.5 cups of bottled lemon juice, 3 cups worth of granulated sugar. I am using raw organic cane sugar that is perfectly safe to can with. This gets stirred well, and we are going to bring this to a boil, and then we will reduce the heat and allow it to simmer for 20 minutes. I am filling the jars with the pineapple first, and then I'm going to come back in with the liquid and fill it up to a 1/2 inch of headspace. Typical drill here, we're going to debubble, we're going to wipe the rims down, make sure there's no food residue. Put on our new washed lids, tighten the rings to fingertip tight. Now I'm going to take this moment to give you a few more ideas on how to use this, especially if you were like myself. When I first started canning this, I did it out of necessity because I had so many zucchini to use up, and I didn't really use a whole lot of canned pineapple to begin with. So I had to get creative and find ways to use this. So some of the ways that I have come up with, I like to use it in different stir fries, especially things that are like Asian inspired, any of like your teriyaki beef and chicken. It's great in like a white chicken chili, throw in some of that mock pineapple. If you're making a fresh salsa to eat right away, not canning a salsa, you can add in some of this mock pineapple. You can use it on skewers and kebabs, in Hawaiian pork chops. For holidays, we love pineapple and brown sugar on our ham. Any sort of fried rice, maybe like a chili shrimp with some mango and mock pineapple. Throw it into ham or chicken salad. And if you are fans of pineapple on pizza, there you go. Plus all of the ways that you can use it in baked goods. So we are going to process these jars at a full rolling boil for 15 minutes. All right, so we are waiting for the canner to come to a boil, and then we'll start processing the mock pineapple. But I have 7 zucchini left here. I'm just shredding. We're gonna store it in the freezer for use over the cool months for baking. I think I'm going to store it in like 2-cup portions. I believe that's what most of my recipes call for. I did pull out some, I can't think. I pulled out chicken legs for dinner tonight, so they're thawing, and we'll work on that a little bit later. But I do have a dessert that we're gonna get started here as soon as I am done with shredding the zucchini. I did just want to mention, if you are freezing shredded zucchini, it is best to measure beforehand, because once it has frozen and then thawed, it's just not the same. The water separates and the zucchini definitely turns mushy, making it very difficult to measure. So it is best to measure before you freeze. Our mock pineapple is all finished. I did some quick math here, ended up with 5 jars. The ingredients for these 5 jars cost about $5, a little less. Now, my zucchini was free from the garden. These are 16-ounce containers. At the store, a 20-ounce container is about $2. So not quite a 50% saving, but at $1 per jar, I'll take it. So we're gonna work on a dessert now. This recipe has been around in my family for a while. My Aunt Lisa would make it at every family gathering. It was such a huge hit. Now I am altering it just with one ingredient. It is a mandarin orange cake, and instead of the mandarin oranges, I'm going to try and use the mock pineapple. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't work. So we're gonna see how it turns out. But this recipe is just, honestly, it's so simple, but it is so delicious. So all I have is 2 cups of organic raw cane sugar and 2 cups of organic all-purpose flour. To my flour and sugar, I'm gonna add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda and a ½ teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna mix that all up, and we have just a couple wet ingredients to add in. To our dry ingredients, we're gonna add 2 eggs, then we're gonna add in, this is 20 ounces of mock pineapple with the juice drained. That's gonna go in, and then we are gonna mix this really well for a couple of minutes. You want everything very well combined. Now I forgot, I usually do this in my KitchenAid mixer here and let it go at like a high speed for 3 or 4 minutes, because I really want that fruit to break apart and really incorporate itself into the batter. Now you can do that by hand, but I'm just taking a shortcut here and I'm gonna use my mixer. Okay, so I have a 9 by 13 pan here that has been greased. We're gonna pour our batter in here, and then this is gonna go into the oven, 350 degrees for 40 minutes. So while our cake is still warm, I'm going to prepare, it's kind of like a glaze for the top of it. So it's 2 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of milk, and 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to get this on my stovetop here, and I'm going to bring this to a boil and allow it to boil for a minute or 2 until it starts to lighten a little bit in color, and then we're going to pour it right over our hot cake. It is confirmed this cake with the mock pineapple is just as good if you were to make it with the mandarin oranges. The way this cake just absorbs that glaze, it is so, so good. And if you have a really sweet tooth, you can go ahead and you can double the glaze recipe to make this cake all the more gooey. I'm gonna get our dinner going now. I've pulled out 4 chicken legs and I've seasoned them with salt and pepper. I've got my skillet nice and hot with some oil, and I'm going to brown these on each side and then allow it to cook until it is just about done. This meal is very simple. There are hardly any ingredients here, but I find that some of the best tasting meals honestly have the least amount of ingredients. You really don't have to complicate cooking from scratch. A few quality ingredients are sometimes all that you need. Once the chicken is just about done, I'm going to remove it from the pan, and I'm going to deglaze the pan with some of the mock pineapple juice. I have strained the juice from the pineapples, and we're going to deglaze the pan with it, scraping up all of those good browned bits from the bottom. We are going to combine some barbecue sauce with that pineapple juice. This is a zesty peach barbecue sauce, which I have canned. You can use any barbecue sauce that you have on hand. I do have a video coming out though where I'm preserving some peaches, and I will share this recipe with you. We're gonna top that barbecue sauce and pineapple juice mixture with our chicken legs. And I am going to add an entire jar of mock pineapple to the tops of this here. This is gonna go under the broiler for a few minutes until everything is nice and caramelized, and making sure that your chicken is completely done. It should register about 170 degrees with a thermometer, and you do want to check it every minute or two under the broiler just to make sure it's not burning. Here it is, all done. It was very good. My husband said I can make this anytime. Very quick to throw together, and like I said, very few ingredients, really easy meal to make. I'm serving it with some coconut milk and jasmine rice. This is something I shared a few videos back. I'll link that video down below if you want to go and grab that recipe. Hey friend, thanks for hanging out with me today in my kitchen. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions you might have, feel free to ask them down below. I will happily answer them. May your day be blessed. I will see you next time. Take care.